everyone, I'm Melanie and welcome back to my channel. Today we have another tag for you. This one is the Counting the Days tag. I was tagged by Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club, so thank you so much for tagging me. This tag was created by Ruben at True Readers It May Concern and Emily at Prose and Petticoats. I will tag all of their channels below if you want to take a look. So this tag is all about books that excite me based on different aspects of the book. So obviously, the specific aspect of each question isn't the only reason that I want to read these books, so please keep that in mind, but with that, we'll just get started. The first question is, what is a book that excites you because of its cover? This one is hard because there's so many beautiful covers out there, and I get some special editions, so it's a little unfair, but this one is not a special edition. And it's a book that I have really been wanting to get to anyways, and that is The Glutton by A.K. Blakemore. This is a historical fiction book that is set in, I think, France. Yeah, set in 1798 France. And it is about a person in history that actually existed that could kind of eat anything and did eat weird things and everything. So it's kind of probably an exaggerated version of that. And this person ends up in a convent where a nun is taking care of them and is learning about his life. The great Tarare and Picard. Oh god. I thought you were... I thought I locked him out, but I guess I didn't. He was in the bedroom the whole time. I really enjoyed The Manicure Witches by this author, and I'm excited to read something else from her. The next question is, what is a book that excites you because of its author? And that would have to be The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I was so jealous of watching Kaylin read the 5th season for the first time because I absolutely love the Broken Earth trilogy, and I had such a fun time. I'm just kind of waiting for him to get to the good parts and all of that. So I really want to pick something up by N.K. Jemisin again, and I've been meaning to get to this series, which I think was published before the Broken Earth trilogy, but I've heard great things about this one as well. And so I'm excited to get to it. I believe the back is short, so I'll just read it. Yayin Dar is an outcast from the barbarian north. But when her mother dies under mysterious circumstances, she is summoned to the majestic city of Sky. There, to her shock, Yain is named an heiress to the king. But the throne of the 100,000 kingdoms is not easily won, and Yain is thrust into a vicious power struggle. Yain, don't know how it's pronounced, but I believe this has trials in it, and I love a good trials in books, so I'm excited to pick this up. This is a trilogy as well. The next question is, what is a book that excites you because of its premise? And this would be In the Miso Soup by Ryu Murakami. This one just seems so weird. I will read the back because it's also short, and just so you get a sense of all that I know about this book. It is just before New Year's. Frank, an overweight American tourist, has hired Kenji to take him on a guided tour of Tokyo's sleazy nightlife, but Frank's behavior is so strange that Kenji begins to entertain a horrible suspicion that his new client is in fact the serial killer currently terrorizing the city. It is not until later, however, that Kenji learns exactly how much he has to fear and how irrevocably his encounter with this great white whale of an American will change his life. I mean, awful American that could be a serial killer in sleazy nightlife Tokyo. I think what could go wrong? So very intrigued by this. I'm expecting it to be really dark and fucked up, so I'm excited for that. The next question is, what is a book that excites you because of its style? So I took this as writing style, though it could probably mean the style of structure and all of that, though this book I believe is written in a normal structure style, at least as far as I know. I could be wrong, but that is Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. I loved Otessa's writing. I've only read My Year in Rest and Relaxation by her, and the book is kind of crazy. Like, the characters are awful and just weird stuff happens, but you know, that's right up my alley. So I loved that she kind of made fun of her characters in that, and I love when writers do that. So I'm expecting the same in this situation, so we'll see. I hope it's the same sort of style that she did for the last book that I read, but we'll see. I believe she works at a prison and is a shoplifter, stalks one of the prison guards, and then a new shiny person comes into the prison to work as the counselor, and they get up to some weird shenanigans and illegal stuff, probably. So that's what the gist of it that I understand is. Apparently, it is also a major motion picture now, so I will wait to watch that until after I finish this book. But I'm very excited to read this one, as the questions suggest. The next question is, what is a book that excites you because of its influence? This one, influence can be thought of in different ways. Obviously, there's hype, and there's also actual cultural or societal influence. I went for hype just because I don't really think I have anything on my TBR that is impactful cultural. That's probably a lie. I just am not like super aware of it, and that also might be kind of a problem because I should be reading more culturally impactful books. No, I'm lying. There's definitely ones like more classics and modern classics that I want to read, but not necessarily on my top of my list. And now I'm rambling, so my pick is Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. I also plan on reading Blood Over Bright Haven by her when it comes out this year, so I'm excited to just dive into both of her works. I've heard great things. You know, I love a good adult Asian-inspired fantasy, and that is Sword of Kaigen, so I plan on reading that maybe on my trip. I'll keep you posted. I will be doing a Switzerland TBR video that will come out soon, which I'll talk through all the books that I plan on bringing because I'll have plenty of time to read. So I don't really know what the Sword of Kaigen is about, so I can't really give you a synopsis off the top of my head, and I don't have a physical copy to read from. So take a look at the synopsis if you're curious, if you haven't heard of it, but I assume almost everyone has heard of it by now. So that is my pick for influence. The next question is, what is a book that excites you because of its emotional weight? And my pick is Pet by Ruben Emmelie. This one is YA, but I've heard it's very dark and goes into really strong topics and hard to read at times. I believe the main character is trans, and there's basically a creature called Pet that our main character is introduced to, and changes their opinion of society and all of that. So maybe unveiling hidden secrets of the truth and all of that. So I'm not so excited to pick up this book, I would say, but I'm like ready to, because I know it's going to be hard to read, and even the book I'm reading right now is shockingly harder to read than I thought it would be, and that's already a lot. So I have to be mentally prepared for this book for sure, but I want to get to this by the end of the year. The next question is, what is a book that excites you because of its sense of humor? And that is Galapagos by Kurt Vonnegut. I love Vonnegut's humor, his wit. The premise of this is just so funny. It's short, so I'll also read it. Galapagos takes the reader back 1 million years to AD 1986. A simple vacation cruise suddenly becomes an evolutionary journey. Thanks to an apocalypse, a small group of survivors stranded on the Galapagos Islands are about to become the progenitors of a brave, new, and totally different human race. In this inimitable novel, America's master satirist looks at our world and shows us all that is sadly, madly awry, and all that is worth saving. I mean, sounds like a blast, and hopefully will be very funny, so I am ready. I haven't picked up a Vonnegut book since last year, so it's about time. And last but not least, the last question is, what is a book that excites you the most because of its difficulty? And that will have to be this chonker, The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu. This is the second book in the Dandelion Dynasty series, first one being Grace of Kings, which I read earlier this year and loved. And I've heard this one's even better, but it is, let's see, 850 pages, which I'm not sure. I think this is bigger than Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but I'm not entirely sure. But if it is, then this will be definitely have been the biggest book that I will have read. I am planning on tackling a lot of this via audiobook, maybe on my trip. I'm not sure. I can't pick like the same types of books. I need a little variety to bring on my trip. But I do think as long as the narrator is good, reading this via audiobook, partially at least, will help me get through it faster, because otherwise this would take me forever to read, and I want to read a lot the rest of the year. So And there's also 2 more books in the series for a total of 4. So I am scared of this one, and I know it will be hard and long, but I don't think it'll take me as long as some like shorter books that are like super dense take me a very long time to read, and I don't think this will be that. But once again, that's a lot of content to read in one world, and I like a little variety, so I might have to pick this up and put it down like I did Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, so that's fine. But I'm very excited, and it's so pretty, and I love the spines because they all match, and these are the international editions. The US ones are cool, but they're all black and not as pretty, so I went with these. But these are like paper and thin, so they're very easy to damage, so that's the one downfall, but very excited to get to this one. And that wraps up the Counting the Days tag. I will be tagging 2 people. The first one is Mimi at It's Mimi Duong, and then Elmo at Elmossy. No pressure to contribute to any of these tags, only if you want to, but I'd love to see it from both of you. And anyone else who's watching this, please consider yourself tagged as well if you do want to do this, because I want to see everyone's answers, not just a few people. So thank you again to Ellen for tagging me, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye!